A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Sonali Manikabagge.
A very good evening. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara. As always, let's start off with a look at your headlines.
A country divided on ethnic and religious lines cannot progress. A statement from the President. Maithripala Sirisena says violence will not suppress his election campaign. Police investigate CCTV footage of Banduraba incident.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that a country or nation cannot progress while divided on lines of ethnicity and religion. The President expressed this view at an event held in the Mulliyaveli area in Mullaitivu this afternoon.
The sixth public rally organised to ensure the victory of UPFA presidential candidate President Mahinda Rajapaksa was held at the Vinyagamurthy Stadium in Mullaitivu this afternoon. We held a provincial council election after a period of 27 years. We are working in a systematic manner in order to ensure the development of the area. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, do not be fooled by false rumors. Always remember that there will be no progress in the country if we are divided as a nation and if there is hatred against one another. You will not succeed. One should remember that the nation will not develop. I believe that we must come together and forget the malicious history. We need to respect each other's religion in order to bring about development for your children and the children of tomorrow. Join hands with us so we can give them a better future and a better world. During the event, 31 political party activists from parties including the TNA expressed their support to the President. Thereafter, the President posed for a photograph with the supporters. This peaceful environment was created under one country and one flag. The President and citizens of this nation are the country's children. Therefore, the Sinhalese and the Tamils and all citizens of this country do not forget to call the Muslim community citizens of this country as well. Through a humanitarian effort, he gave you all freedom. He wasn't a traitor to the Tamil-speaking people. Our President allocated a majority of funds from the 2004 budget proposal to the Tamil-speaking people who live in the north and the central provinces. We lost our property owing to the war. We look forward to a brighter future through political stability. Mahinda Rajapaksa is the only president who can free us from external influences and give us a respectable political solution.
நமது கௌரவமான அரசியல் தீர்வை தரக்கூடிய ஒரே தலைவராக ஜனாதிபதி மஹிந்த ராஜபக்ச அவர்களை.
Presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena says that intimidation will not suppress his election campaign. The presidential candidate made this statement at a public rally held in Banduraba yesterday.
The stage that was set up for the public rally of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena had been set ablaze last morning. A separate stage that was set up in close proximity was used for the rally last evening.
Non-violence needs to be a law in the country. Intimidation will not suppress our election campaign. Let them set fire to all the stages and not just one. Each stage that is at light increases our voter base by 100,000. The intelligent people of this country will condemn this intimidation. We are respectfully making this statement to all, including the SLF peers. Understand the current status of the country. Understand the transformation that is required in the country. Understand the changes that need to take place in the country. The diplomatic service in the country has been destroyed. Intelligent persons with diplomatic knowledge are idling in the offices at the Ministry of External Affairs. They are not appointed to those positions.
Public representatives from the common opposition who support the candidacy of Maithripala Sirisena also spoke at the public rally in Habaradua.
The battle, which commenced with 7 people, has now increased to 14. The number has doubled. Mahinda Rajapaksa's 2/3 majority in parliament is finished. We laid our hands on this to win, and on the 8th, my brothers, we will record a resounding victory. There are no election campaigns now. What is the only function of their campaign officers? To retain those who are left. Remember, my friends, that before we die, we will make our motherland the pearl of the Indian Ocean once again. And we will do this with this Maitri leadership.
My friends, government ministers are tying up Samurdhi officers to trees and are beating them up. If even one of my people had done such a thing, I would have sacked them from the ministry immediately. Today, Samurdhi officers are being made to kneel before them and say yes to everything. We will rejuvenate the Samurdhi scheme and increase the payments and other benefits. We will give them the opportunity to once again serve this country as proud public officials.
This party has lost its backbone, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. It is disappointing. They get onto some stage or the other and cry that they were not treated well, or they say they are against the system, but they will not leave and they cry. We are not people who had many things there, but we abandoned all of it and came here to stand on behalf of the truth.
We do not have any personal gripe with the president. The government started thieving and nepotism increased. Because of this system, the country at present is facing a worse situation than it did during the war. If they are sure of victory, then why are they burning our stages? This person is only troubled and afraid today.
Meanwhile, at an event held in LPTA yesterday, Chandrasena Vijayasinghe, a former fisheries minister, expressed these views on the common opposition stage.
He was hoping to turn this into a dogfight by bringing in a candidate from the JP on one side and from the TNA on the other side and secure an easy victory. 2 years ago, he planned the game in this way and prepared for it. His fight has shriveled up today. The entire country has now agreed to a common leadership, a common candidate that is acceptable to all of us.
The United People's Freedom Alliance convened a media briefing this morning.
What alternative has Maithripala Sirisena, who is contesting the presidential election, presented to the country? Is there a clear alternative? Is it an honest alternative? Is it transparent? According to the Asian tradition, if it is evident that the government implements a policy that is useful for the people and creates a change in life of the public, it is their responsibility to create a platform for the continuous implementation of this policy according to the consent of the people, not to create disorder.
තමුන්නාසලා ඕනම කෙනෙක් අද හවස යන්න කොල්ලු පිටියට. අද කැසිනෝ ලංකාවේ තියෙනවා.
Now look at these casinos. Everyone are in casinos. You should go to Colbert in the evening. There are casinos in Sri Lanka. There are 5 casinos under 5 permits. So there should be no problem as to whether we are making casinos or destroying them. Casinos began in 1977. There is a certain framework the Ministry of Finance follows. We do not take loans out of this framework. We have taken one loan, and that is for the Hambantota port, and this is because it was necessary. We have not commenced any project which has gone beyond this framework. We can clearly state this. We have answers to any criticism that is levelled at us. Corruption is bad, but it is the UNP who said that in order for a speedy development, you must at least curb 20% of the corruption taking place. There is no corruption in places where there is nothing going on. Plates are broken by the hands of plate washers. People make mistakes. It is not the 1 or 2 plates that were broken that must be taken into consideration, but rather if the majority of the plates have been washed. I wish to clearly state that we do not see such a philosophical foundation in our group. We need to fight against corruption. We need to make a change.
Staying in news from the presidential campaign, various programs were organized today as well in support of New Democratic Front candidate Maithripala Sirisena.
A group of leaders of political parties that have pledged support to Maithripala Sirisena and party members marched to the election secretariat today under the theme "Where is Justice? Where is the Elections Commissioner?" and staged a satyagraha. The group held a satyagraha opposite the election secretariat for several hours, demanding that the elections commissioner enforce the law to seize illegal campaigning, including the misuse of state property.
Dangerous terror, fear and suspicion is spreading throughout society today. State power is being used to the maximum in this election campaign. Cutouts and posters of the president are being put up by state institutions and not by the party mechanism. 1,000 vehicles came into the port yesterday. These vehicles have been imported for election work at all of the ministries. We kindly call on the Elections Commissioner not to allow the 300 vehicles brought in today and the 700 vehicles that will arrive tomorrow at a cost of 6.5 billion rupees to be used in election work. The Elections Commissioner has the biggest responsibility to ensure a level playing field, to ensure that the people's election is fair. So we call on the Elections Commissioner to either resign immediately or to take steps to fulfill his responsibility to the people to ensure a level playing field. It was reported in the media that the Elections Commissioner has said that he would resign on the day of the election if he is unable to hold a fair election. What sort of joke is this? So we wish to say to the Elections Commissioner that it is not enough for him to serve justice only on the day of the election. That justice must be delivered to the people democratically right after the day of the election. When we speak to the Elections Commissioner, he says, talk to the police and send me a copy of the letter. That process alone takes 4 to 5 days. Then the cutouts are in the middle of the road for 10 days. So we call on the Elections Commissioner, if he has even an iota of respect for the law, to use his power and stop this. The state media, especially Rupavahini, are slinging mud from morning to night. So we call on the Elections Commissioner to issue the necessary orders. And if he cannot do so, resign immediately.
A walk and a Pirith chanting was held today in support of UPFA presidential candidate President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
UPFA activists in Beruala organised this march in support of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. A vehicle parade also followed the march. Meanwhile, a special chanting of Pirith took place at the Askiri Vihara in Gampaha, invoking blessings on the President and for the new year.
JVP leader Anukumara Dissanayaka says that the current political system must be changed. He made this statement at a public rally held in Mathura last evening.
One of the series of public rallies organised island-wide by the JVP under the theme Defeat the Dictatorial Regime, Rally for Democracy was held at the Uyanwatta Stadium in Mathura under the auspices of party leader Anukumara Dissanayaka. Rajapaksa's government is like a salon door. Drug peddlers come in if they wish, criminals come in if they wish, ethanol smugglers come in if they wish. That is the way of the salon door, isn't that so? Can the boss of the salon refuse to cut someone's hair? He needs to cut the hair of whoever comes there. This is what happens to the barber. He has to embrace anyone that comes through his door. The political culture in our country has been destroyed completely. There is a friend in Parliament who recently told me, and I say this with responsibility, that he was not sure of coming in the next time. He said that a price has been offered. What did we say? Increase the price and get lost. What else could we tell him? That is the truth. Politics has come to this level. Do you approve of this type of politics? There are two people who tried to drown Rajapaksa with a large rope. One is the astrologer. Even last night we saw one of them playing around. You would have seen him. It was as if he were the president. The best part is that the man who was blind in both eyes was telling the truth. He said what those with sight could not comprehend, that the president would be defeated on the 8th. Who is the other person? Tissathanayaka. Tissathanayaka used the next biggest rope. Some think that Tissathanayaka crossed over to the government only after Maithripala Sirisena's arrival. No, Tissathanayaka crossed over to the government even before Maithripala Sirisena's arrival. Before Maithripala's arrival, Tissathanayaka struck an agreement with them. What was in that agreement? He said, do not fear, it will definitely be Ranil Wickremesinghe that we put forward to contest against you. That is why he asked for it.
The Sri Lanka Mahajana Party convened a media briefing today and commented on the decision taken by SLMP Progressive Front to support Maithripala Sirisena at the upcoming presidential election.
The party Politburo has decided on the stance of the Mahajana Paksha. There is various talks that has arisen, but everyone is in agreement with the party's decision, and regardless of our opinions on the current system, we have decided that we need to support His Excellency the President, and we are working towards that.
From back then to date, the Sri Lanka Mahajana Paksha has been part of the UPFA and has worked with dedication towards the victory of the alliance at every election. The decision taken by the absolute majority of our Politburo was that we must, as usual, lend our support towards the victory of His Excellency the President.
Now, investigations have commenced into the incident where the stage where a public rally of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena was set alight by an unidentified group in Wandaraba Galle.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana noted that investigations commenced after visuals of the incident were obtained from a CCTV camera from a house located in close proximity to where the incident occurred. The police media spokesperson added that 3 statements have been recorded thus far and investigations are being carried out under the supervision of the ASP of Galle. A public rally was to take place in the town of Wandaraba last night. A lorry that carried loudspeakers intended for use in the rally had also been torched, and according to a correspondent, the equipment had been destroyed in the fire.
Let's now take a look at some of the views expressed by public representatives on the political stage.
They say we are giving money. We are not giving money to anyone. Some people come to me and say, Minister, if you give us some money too, we could take a decision to better our economy. I say, do not speak to me about money. The biggest businessmen are selling shares in their businesses. They sell these stocks in the stock market. There is a stock exchange in Colombo too. That is in Temple Trees. I spoke to a councillor who looked like he would jump and asked him if he is really going. He said no, that he had not reached an agreement yet. I asked why. He said, you don't know. I said no, what is it? He said he asked for 60, but he would go for 50. 60 million. That is the amount. President Mahinda Rajapaksa will be victorious all across the island. I wish to note that Maithripala Sirisena, who said he would close the Bandaranaike airport, will also be unable to leave. We will close that too. There is no point in arranging tickets. Some say they have arranged their tickets to leave.
Did we
say that we would not let the Rajapaksas leave? When he said he would not let the thieves leave, everyone in the president's family said they would not be allowed to leave. Who said they were the thieves? Maithripala Sirisena said he would not let the thieves leave. I saw this being said yesterday, and it would have been better if it was said with the president there. You may have seen the ad on Rupwahini. He kept wanting our king, our king. Who was it? It was Maithripala Sirisena back then. What is he saying now? He says spineless leaders are hailing Mahinda Rajapaksa as a king. Now it appears that it was he himself that said it. They are shameless, absolutely shameless. They can't even put up an ad. Are these advertisements? If that is so, even we can put up advertisements of Johnny, SB and Kehelia speaking bad about Mahinda. What is the latest wave in the country? Hoppers and black coffee. Now I do not eat hoppers anywhere or drink black coffee anywhere. Do not serve it to me again. One secretary was with our president till dawn and had not one but 2 egg hoppers. I do not know how many plain hoppers he had. This is a disgusting story. Do not say things to the person who fed you. What happens then? It will turn back on you. A meal is a normal thing. You eat, you digest it, and then you pass it out. That is all.
Sri Lanka Nidahas Pakshe Mahalekam
The former General Secretary of the SLFP, the former Chairman of the SLFP, and the former Treasurer of the SLFP, all of them have come to a common stage, and we have put forward the former General Secretary as the common candidate. All that the government has been able to do is take 2 or 3 deadbeats from our side and claim that their campaign is prosperous.
Five persons were injured when a building which was under construction collapsed at the Pirivena junction in Borlaskamua. Police state that rescue efforts have commenced in order to free an individual trapped under the rubble. The building collapsed this evening. For more of the views expressed by UPFA parliamentarian Viduru Lanka, tune into the main news bulletin at 10 p.m. on our sister channel Sirius TV. The segment is Newsline.
And up next is a look at Action TV.
There are plenty of instances in this country where rural people have taken to the streets unable to bear any longer the threat to their property and lives posed by wild elephants which crash into their villages come nightfall. On several occasions in the recent past, even the police had to intervene when the people of the Puttalam, Karuwalagaswawa, Anamaduwa and Wanathavilluwa administrative divisions took to the streets. Various responsible authorities have sought to mollify the people at these instances by promising them a sustainable solution to contain the wild elephant threat. The Kurunagala-Puttalam road, which was a focal point of these protests, could once again be used for demonstrations following a thorough inquiry. As a result of the wild elephants which crash into the villages at night, now frequenting the highway, even the universally accepted siren of emergency is silenced. A sum of 40 million rupees was allocated in last year's budget to resolve the wild elephant threat posed to the administrative divisions of Puttalam, Karuwalagaswawa, Anamaduwa and Wanathavilluwa. The solution was to erect electric fences confining these herds of wild elephants to the Tabbowa Reserve. Posts for this fence were brought to the area in June this year. Subsequently, jungle areas were cleared, in some instances with the support of area residents, to facilitate the erecting of the electric fences. Parallel to this, these posts were put up along the fence line after it was estimated that each post would cost 139,000 rupees. While the construction of these posts has also been abandoned as at the present, the areas that were cleared with the assistance of the people are also overgrown.
If the road is destroyed, if we stay at home, the fields are destroyed.
They come here every day. We are not allowed even a day of respite. They come in herds.
My children ask me every morning if elephants will come today as well. They ask me if elephants will come at night or if elephants came last night. It is very sad. They keep saying they will put up fences, but that has not been materialized.
These images are sufficient to comprehend the complexity of the problem. Shouldn't authorities stop considering human lives as being akin to mere scarecrows and take meaningful steps to properly utilize funds already allocated through the budget? Minister of Wildlife Resource Conservation, this is over to you.
Corn cultivations in the Bonragala district are at a risk of as a result of a fungi that has affected crops. Our correspondent based in the area said that corn plantations in the Siambalandua Divisional Secretariat area are at a high risk of being destroyed.
Corn is cultivated in many areas across the Bonragala district. It is now harvest season in the district for corn farmers. When the grains are forming, a fungi affects the kernels and destroys everything. I have spent hundreds of thousands of rupees through bank loans for my cultivation. I have been left helpless now. There are 48 subdivisions in the whole of Siambalandua Divisional Secretariat zone. All the people in these divisions have lost their cultivations. Now they have no way to live. The farmers allege that they are faced with this situation as low quality seeds are provided to them. However, agriculture authorities say that the present inclement weather had attributed to the spread of the fungi. With the increase in water in the soil, the growth of bacteria and other fungi has rapidly increased. This is harmful for the corn cultivation. We do not recommend any weedicides. The only solution for this is to remove the affected plants so that it will restrict the spread of the disease.
Well, special lighting has become a tradition for Christmas celebrations here in Sri Lanka and around the world. But there are some people who take it to a whole different level.
That's right, Ramesh. Now, a music teacher from California has lit up his entire property, added a 17-foot guitar and set the entire thing to a Star Wars mashup. Now, the 5-minute light show, which, by the way, would put most professional stage crews to shame with its precision and choreography, involves about 100,000 lights and 12,500 lighting channels.
Well, revel in the magic and enjoy the Star Wars mashup. For the News First team, I'm Ramesh Rugal Bandara.
I'm Sonali Manik Badage.
Good night.